Ladies and gentlemen, we got major breaking news from Burkina Faso with regards to Captain Ibrahim Traoré, because Captain Ibrahim Traoré has made a decision now that elderly people will no longer pay for electricity and water in Burkina Faso. Captain Ibrahim Traoré Captain Ibrahim Traoré has made it known that water and electricity will now be free for the elderly, and more so, his long term intention is to make this thing free for everyone. He believes that electricity and water are basic things that people shouldn't be paying for. Now, since he made this decision, a lot of people have been celebrating Captain Ibrahim Traoré, that this is another great improvement that he has been able to execute during his time. This is just one of the best African president that we've seen. He's trying to make life easier for his citizens at all costs. Captain Ibrahim Traore is the example of what a great leader should be. I did not have the privilege and the opportunity to know and to witness the exploit of the great Thomas Sankara in real time, but if there is anything good about Thomas Sankara that I did not witness, I think I am seeing it you know in this lifetime during the era of Ibrahim Traore. So basically, a lot of Africans have been praising him, but the problem is that a lot of Europeans and maybe Americans have been criticizing this decision, and their way of seeing it is actually the problem here, because I think a lot of people should learn to respect the fact that you are not in other people's shoes, and you don't have to live where they live. Life might be better in Europe or in America, but in Africa, some things are really, really easy. A matter of fact, if not for politics, corruption, terrorism, and all of this, which I think these were the things that were planted here by the West to destabilize the peace and stability of Africa, I feel like Africa is far better than any other place. Now, let me tell you this: water can be 100% free. In fact, I've never paid for water in my life. In my life, I'm telling you now, the only type of water I pay for, maybe sachet or maybe bottled water, I just want to drink it. Those are the things. But water to have your bath, to wash clothes, I can wash 100 clothes in a day if I have the capacity to. Free. That's free. Water in Africa is free. It's tropical. Like, everybody drills their own borehole. That is it. And once there's electricity, you pump your water, your storage is filled up, you have water. You can in fact you can open the shower and just stay there for a whole day. It's your business. Water is free in Africa. But I think the way France did this thing is like France make them dependent. Because if you come to Nigeria, I don't know where in Nigeria that water is being sold or you have to subscribe for water. We don't do that over here. So people should learn to understand that the life you are living over there is different from the life we are living here. In fact, here water is too much. We are even scared of water here, because once it rains, you start having water overflowing some places. You start having flood and the rest. We have water in abundance here. People just have to dig. They just have to get a bowl and dig through the aquifer. They get water, clean water, and they just aspirate it to the top. So it now depends on the system they want to use to filter, just to make sure that the water is clean enough for them to cook and do whatever. So we don't have to live in the same place. We don't have to, like, there is peace in, if you have money, Africa is the best place you can be, because you are going to be in some of the urban settlement. Like, life is so interesting in Africa. Just have money and you will know the real definition of Africa. But the problem is that there is a great division between the elite class and the poor people and the masses, if that would be better, because of the corruption, because of the inequality, and these things are coming from the political policies and every other thing like that. That is what it is. But on an even playing field and a level ground, Africa is a very good place. And when it comes to electricity, remember in the year 2023, they actually had an agreement with Russia to develop their nuclear energy plants in Burkina Faso. Remember, don't forget, Niger Republic and Burkina Faso both have uranium. Now, I don't know if Mali has uranium, but Niger and Burkina Faso has uranium in Niger has uranium in abundance. And these are confederations. They are the same alliance of Sahel. So these things are going to be free for those people. In fact, if they have to be selling to themselves, then it has to be free trade. So I don't understand where all this, oh, the money has to be coming from somewhere. They have uranium as their own natural resources. If it is not madness, Nigeria that has crude oil, in fact, petroleum should be the cheapest thing in Nigeria, yet it's still expensive for some people and they can't afford it. And all these things is out of corruption. And the corruption, corruption in Africa is like is still part of this new colonialism that we are campaigning against, because they create a system that cannot just help you you cannot eradicate the corruption. And when you take a bold step to try to eradicate this corruption, they are going to label you a dictator straight away. And that is what you are seeing with Ibrahim Traoré. There is nothing other than the West trying to deliberately make this guy put his people back in poverty. Remember during Thomas Sankara, where he nationalized a lot of industries, he was trying to do a lot of good things. Immediately they killed him. Look at the guy they put him in power, right? They wanted to destroy. Like, that's the point. I'm telling you that the whole plan of France is okay, but I know that France right now, Russia is really, really keeping everybody busy. I know these guys are scared. Anybody can get touched by Russia. We hope they have a peace agreement tomorrow. You understand? Because I know that once this Ukraine Russia war is over, now all eyes will be on Africa and more focus will be on Ibrahim Traore. I feel like that's where the bigger pressure will come in. And I think the necessary steps should have been taken to be able to resist every pressure that might be coming at the time. So for me, I do feel like what Ibrahim Traore has actually decided to do for his people is not something coming out of the impossible. It's something that is actually very, very possible. They have uranium, and when it comes to how they can operate their thing, they generate internal revenue. Gold is the major export. These guys have reserve, so there is every possibility that he can make it free for his people. And in short, it's not like he's declaring total, making it like totally free. He said for the elderly ones. So for the youth and the population, like those ones can still be contributing if they want. And remember, the Burkina Faso people, they are just some of the best people in Africa, in my own opinion. Do you remember that these people, they used to pay taxes just to support their government? These ones does not pay taxes. I'm not talking about the regular tax. These ones are paying for their government to get some kind of good weapons to be able to defend them. So these people are different. It's not like it cannot happen in any other African country, but in a country where imagine giving some, I don't want to mention the name of some countries now, you giving them a drone. I will tell you that the security in that country, and I know if you are watching me, if you are from that country, properly, very, very well. There are some weapons that they will give to your security team, and the first people they will try those weapons on is on the citizens. I'm telling you, in this same Africa that everybody is. So for me, for those that are criticizing, I think next time you try to make your research properly about Africa, because I know a lot of people are just jumping on this Ibrahim Traore bandwagon and they don't really, really know nothing about Africa. Some people have never even been to Africa before. It's not the fault of a lot of people actually, and some of those people, unfortunately, are even black sometimes, that don't really, really know what is going on the ground here. I know a lot of people, you pay for water over there, yeah, it's like subscription or whatever you guys do over there. We don't know too. We don't even know. We thought the way water is free here is the way it's free over there. So if it's not free, actually, now, no. For me personally, I do feel like Ibrahim Traore has been a phenomenal leader for the people of Burkina Faso.